Forrest,
Yes.
what's your favorite thing about Montana?
Zuka.
Zuka. Zuka is where we have lunch.
Todos los días.
So having lunch is your favorite thing about Montana.
No. I think the west side of the park.
The North Fork.
What's your favorite thing about Montana?
The Rockies.
The Rockies. How about you?
The open space.
Ozone.
The open space. Your favorite thing about Montana?
My favorite thing about Montana
Yes.
is this one right here.
My favorite thing about Montana is being able to drive 40 minutes and be here.
Access.
Yeah, easy access. Hi everyone.
Hi guys.
Victoria is with me this week in Montana. If you don't know Victoria, she's a photographer also. And we both decided to do a Q&A, and you guys sent us a lot of questions on Instagram, so we decided to answer them. Just so you know, it is a long video because, I mean, it's more like an intimate video that we both did together, conversation. So I put all the questions down below, and each questions are listed with the time on the video. So if you interested,
Just curious about a question.
Yeah.
1 or 2 questions.
you can just go see down below and you'll see the exact time. So we thank you for all your questions and thank you so much for watching, and I hope it was helpful a little.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Okay, someone wants to know how we met.
We met through a mutual friend, Morgan Phillips, who's also a photographer. So Victoria was organizing an
Yeah, I had a photo walk in Seattle and she was visiting. I don't know why you were in Seattle, but you came.
we were living at the Thai house at that time.
They were living in Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we met. Morgan brought me to this photo walk that Victoria was organizing.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is a good one. How and when did your first paid gig happen? So my first paid gig, I think I was doing local projects and think favors for friends and things like that for a few years before my first big commercial gig, which was in 2013 for Lyft, and it was like I remember it was still, they still had the mustache.
Don't be ashamed, it's fine.
It's embarrassing. The mustache thing was still their thing, and so they had they wanted the mustache in the photo, so essentially I hid the mustache in a bouquet of pink flowers.
So you hid the...
So I hid the product.
The product. Okay, great. So
They were happy, so...
They were?
Yeah, they were.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first paid gig was, I think it was in 2013 too. And it was for Travel Alberta. I went to Alberta with a bunch of other photographers from Vancouver. We were all from Vancouver. And we stayed there for a week. It was the summer, so it wasn't cold. It was great.
Yeah, I need to go.
Yeah, and Alberta is so beautiful. It was a really easy job to document my stay there because it was very, very pretty. Have you been?
No,
Never?
I need to go. I know. It's embarrassing. Like the only place I've been to in Canada is like Victoria or Vancouver.
Yeah.
That's it. How did you find your photography style, and what would your advice for a newbie looking for their own style be?
For me, personally, it was really hard to find my own style. I mean, not hard, but it took me a long time. I started photography with Alex, so I was, in a way, doing whatever he was doing. And, but because, I was new and I was trying new things, and photography was very new for me, so I was basically doing what he was doing. And it took me a little while to find my own personal style. I'm not even sure if I'm there yet, to be honest. I don't know, I'm still trying stuff.
Yeah.
For me, my tip will be that to shoot as much as you can. So if you want to copy someone that inspires you to start, I think it's a good way to start. And after that, you'll see you find your own style and what you like, what you don't like. I think that's how it worked for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's true for anybody who's starting out. You, especially in like this day and age where we often get surrounded by other creatives or other photographers, and you learn from them. And it's not necessarily that you're like copying them, like blatant copying, but learning from them and trying to understand composition and light and just your gear in general. I started out doing portraits and street because that's the people who I met who were doing photos, that's what they were doing. And I, and just would bring my camera with me everywhere and try to learn, just bringing it with me everywhere and documenting life, I think you're right about advice though. I think shooting and then asking questions and getting, asking questions and trying to study other photographers of like, what is it, not just like what are they doing and copying it, but being like, what is it about this photo that I like? What am I drawn to about this specific thing? And like dissecting it in that way.
Because also I think now it's really hard
to have your own voice.
To be creative, because Instagram is so big now that you can find pretty much anything. I mean, anything.
Everything feels
and
the same.
So I think like even if you're inspired by someone, you can still try to not copy, like she said, trying to understand why do you like that picture, like you said, because
then you can
find your own way. Your own way.
And I think one more thing for a newbie is to learn your gear, spend time with it. I know manuals are just about the most boring thing to read, but there's actually a lot of really useful information or tutorials online and things. What do you consider home?
Gonna sound very cheesy, you say that?
Yeah, that's the word.
But for me, home is wherever my family is. I consider friends home, of course, because I grew up there. But my family could live in Russia, and for me, Russia will be my home. I mean, it's just wherever my family is and wherever I am with Alex, this is where I feel home.
Yeah, I think that's true. Similarly for me too, I think where I feel the most like myself is around those people that I love and as well as another thing that for home for me that's super important is a place to recharge and just to get where you can just like relax and like be in your own environment without any demands or busyness or just noise, because we're on the go. I mean, both of us are being able to come back to a place where you can just be is so valuable for me.
Yeah, I agree. What is your favorite part about sharing photos on social media?
Oh, social media. Love and hate relationship.
Yeah.
It's a place where I get to see friends all over the world living their life, exploring things, seeing new things for the first time. At the end of the day, the people and the relationships and being able to like share and as well as see what people are doing is probably my favorite thing about it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. My favorite thing is the community for sure. Also because I like all the friends that Alex and I have in America, like it could be Canada or here, we met them through Instagram. It sounds weird maybe, but it's true. So it's an amazing community. You can meet people all around the world. I think it's the first app that you can actually do that because you have this passion in common, and I think that would be my favorite thing. And also like sharing with you guys and talking to you and and because sometimes we receive very good comments and it makes us feel good because if you had a bad day or whatever and you just see one of the photos and it put a smile on people's faces.
Yeah, it's worth it.
I think it's worth it. We had one question about our favorite place we've ever lived, and this is a really hard one for me. I don't know.
What are like your top 3 favorite places you've lived?
I'll say Brazil, because I moved there when I was 12 and it was completely different for me. It was a great experience. So I'll say that because it was like a great chapter in my life. Quebec City in Canada too, because it was the first time for me living abroad by myself, and it was another great experience. This is where I met Alex too. Third one will be, I loved Vancouver, but I love it here too. I don't know, I can't choose. I feel like everywhere I lived was a different chapter in my life, and they're all like equally important. So I don't know, and I'm not answering that question because it's so hard.
I only really lived in 2 different parts of Washington. I was born in Lithuania, but I came over here to the States when I was almost 2. Very quickly we moved to Eastern Washington, where I grew up and was ready to go. I think any small town, it's easy to feel that way as a kid, you know. So, and I think I was 18 and booked it straight to Seattle and
By yourself?
Oh yeah, I was like done, and then have lived in Seattle, different parts of Seattle. I mean, if I have to pick a place, it'd be Ballard was my favorite.
Yeah, that's
spot.
what I was gonna say because I remember you saying that you love it there.
Oh, I love Ballard. This is a great question. What is one place you visited that you would live permanently because you liked it so much?
That's so hard. I mean, we were talking about it 10 minutes ago in the car.
It's a hard question. It really is.
Like, because a lot of times when we travel, we say to ourselves,
oh yeah,
I want to live here.
Yeah.
So I don't have just one favorite place. But I really liked when we were doing our big road trip in Europe like 2 years ago. I really liked Italy. Because even though I'm from France, I've never been to Italy before. And
that's amazing.
I know.
How's that possible?
I don't know. But when we were there, we saw like so many, you know, like those cute little towns. Everything is pretty. The food is amazing. I mean, so yeah, I could see myself live there for sure. I could also see myself live in Iceland.
Oh.
I could see myself living in Hawaii. I mean, who doesn't?
You can't see themselves living there.
So, see myself in the southwest of France, which is Biarritz. This is where I've been going my entire life since I was little, every summer. So I definitely see if I have to go back to France, I would live there.
I don't know that I have a great answer for that either. I think you're right that it's easy to imagine your life at certain places, and I don't know that I've spent enough time in any one place to feel like I really had a very, very good sense of it, other than Italy, which I did fall in love with completely. I was there in 2011 for almost 5 weeks, and it was like...
Yeah, so you had the time.
Yeah, you had time, and you're like, okay, I can... like, the pizza guy knows my name. We could be friends. Italy and France both, like, won me over completely. I fell in love with Bordeaux. I thought that was, like... Saint-Emilion was, like, this ridiculously beautiful place that I was like, hey, why don't I just have like a little farmhouse down the street and just live here and eat cheese for my whole life?
This is why we get along, by the way.
Because of cheese. No.
Do you stay excited with your job? If yes, how?
I think I'll be completely honest. Sometimes it's hard to be excited because there are some elements of our work that's not as glamorous, like airport time and
jet lag and
and invoicing people and waiting on finance stuff and all of the business elements that like suck up your life sometimes. That it's easy to like look at our photos or whatever it is that we shared, and I think that's true for a lot of social media, is just to see like the happy, beautiful, perfect light moments, and that's just not the reality of being a working photographer. The heart of it, like for me, when I pick up a camera and I get to start shooting, I'm still always excited. It's like where I'm the happiest is like
me too.
Going and just being out there or being, creating something, putting something together. And
well, because we're doing something that we love, and I think we're very lucky to be able to make a living through our passion, which is, I would never complain about that. It is really hard to be inspired and stay creative all the time.
Oh, completely.
Really hard. Like I
don't know that it's possible.
No, I don't think it's possible. And I had the same, like this winter, I wasn't inspired. I'll be honest too, I wasn't inspired at all. Maybe it was the weather, maybe it was, I don't know.
Recognizing that when it happens, and instead of getting frustrated with yourself and being angry, or because I feel like I've done that and been really hard on myself and like, why can't you get yourself together and like get, you know, go and do this, like you're a professional. But instead being like, okay, like what's actually going on inside of me, like what's wrong, or what do I need to fix in my life, or do I need to create some routine, do I need to create some structure, do I need to spend time doing something else, like, and allowing yourself to like move with that, because I think that that's like a really good opportunity to grow in your life.
Yeah, to answer the question on how to stay excited with our job, I think it's really important to surround yourself with the right people. People who are positive, people who inspire
great
you.
things.
Yeah, or doing great things, or
it doesn't have to be with the photography, just inspiring people.
Yeah, in general, like I like in my case, I really like to be surrounded by positive people, because I tend to be a little negative, so I feel great, and it makes me feel good when I'm surrounded by positive, optimistic people.
Yeah, it's hard to stay negative when you're around like greatness and good energy.
And Alex is like that a lot. He's very positive. So it makes me feel good, and I think this is how I get excited with my job all the time, or whenever she comes, or every time I'm with a person that is motivated.
Yeah.
It
drives
just
you too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to force yourself to grab your camera and go outside.
Oh yeah. I agree.
It's easy to just be at home and it's raining outside, especially
yesterday.
Or yesterday.
Yesterday it was the weather was shitty.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But we were like, no, we're gonna go on that lake and
we got some
shoot. And actually we
photos.
answer one of the questions there, the one that we got the most.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That you can see right now. So we had a lot of questions about our gear.
It's true.
We're gonna do this now because we're actually about to go shoot right now, but it's raining outside, so we're gonna wait a little. And also, this is entirely Alex's fault. We're changing the tires today. Anyways,
mostly shoot with Fujifilm mirrorless cameras. This week I'm shooting with the X-T20. This is my first week with it. And feel this. It's like the most ridiculous thing. It's like a toy. It's so light, but it's
small,
so powerful.
Really good.
It shoots 4K video, and the quality of the images is absolutely impressive. Honestly, you guys, I'll talk about them all day long, but that's mostly what I'm shooting with this week. But the rest of the time, I'm usually shooting with the X-T2. It's my go-to lens or camera. So this week I have the 10-24 super wide, super sharp. Like, I'm totally impressed with how sharp that little lens is. And then this chunk has been really fun. 50-140. But again, it's like, for as big as it is, it's not overwhelmingly heavy.
As big as it is.
I know. Let's just talk about this for 2 seconds. I know. We have a problem. Yeah. 2 little bodies this week. I have this little guy, the silver version too, which is like the cutest little thing. But they're like the dinkiest, which means I'll bring it with me everywhere. It's not about the gear.
Yeah, the gear really doesn't matter. It helps.
Yeah, of course it helps. Yeah, what about you? What are you shooting with over there?
So I shoot Canon. So my main camera is the Canon 5D Mark IV. Which I love. I had this one for a few months now, and I had the Mark III before, and I can totally see the difference. It's way faster, and even for filming, touch focus thing.
Oh yeah.
While you're filming is impressive. So I really love that. I usually always have this lens on it. It's 24-70, which I really like. Also, you saw it earlier, but I use this big thing. The 70-200, which is for me one of the best lenses. It is amazing how good it is, but it's a big one, so it's not like
it was a full workout yesterday. She was trying to take portraits of me.
It was a full workout. It's so heavy. But yeah, I don't have this one with me all the time, but whenever I can, I bring it because it's I really like it. You guys ask me a lot on my videos what camera I use to film those videos. So this is the most convenient one because it's so tiny, It's the Canon J7X. I mean, yeah, it does his job. It's a really good camera. I also film with the 5D. It's a little bit more complex because it's not stabilized or anything, so it's just you have to have steady hands. But yeah, and
with the 80D.
and yeah, that one that we're filming on, it's the Canon 80D. I'm gonna start using it more. This is Alex's camera, but I borrow it from him more because I really like it. But like we said earlier, the gear that you have is not...
It's not everything.
No, it's not everything. As long as you enjoy taking photos, it could be with your phone or whatever. It's the same feeling for me sometimes.
For sure.
Sometimes I don't even have any... Oh, sorry. Sometimes I don't even have any camera on me and just use the iPhone. So
Yep. It's true. Oh. Shit. I'll owe you, obviously.